The Communist Party of China will hold its once in 5 years National Congress tomorrow. President of the world's second largest economy, Xi Jinping, is expected to secure an unprecedented third 5-year term as the head of the government, party and military. A cloud of secrecy hangs over the proceedings surrounding the event. Chinese reports say the 20th Congress is expected to produce a new set of leaders handpicked by Xi Jinping. The Chinese Communist Party has a history of over 100 years. It presently has 96 million members who are led by the Central Committee and Politburo. Their top cadres form the powerful Politburo Standing Committee. With 1 day left for the meeting, there are some key questions that need to be answered. Firstly, what is at stake at this year's meeting? As regards with the political or economic system of the country, no significant changes are expected to be announced. Much of the opposition has been subdued with the use of an anti-corruption campaign. The country's zero-COVID policy has placed tens of millions of people under quarantine, severely restricting travel. The Chinese government has insisted that such tight COVID-19 controls are the only way to prevent a wider outbreak in the world's most populous nation. Moving on to the second question, how will the Congress affect China's foreign policy? Now, China's assertive foreign policy has prompted a backlash from the US, Europe, and regional neighbors. The sticky points in its relationship with the West and some of its neighbors are Beijing's claim to virtually the entire South China Sea, the close alignment of its foreign policy with Russia, and refusal to criticize Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Most importantly, China's threat to invade the self-governing island democracy of Taiwan to bring it under its control. Even after not being in the good books of the Western powers, Xi Jinping has shown no signs of a change in foreign policy direction. Now, for more on this, we are being joined live by Einar Tangen, a political and economic commentator from Beijing. Thank you for being with us on this broadcast. Now, Taiwan, the economy, or COVID, which is Xi Jinping's biggest challenge?
Well, economically, obviously, it's not only COVID, but a lot of headwinds internationally. China feels very much under pressure from the United States under a series, whether it's sailing gunboats up and down the Taiwan Straits or imposing economic sanctions, such as the latest ones in tech, or rewriting the 3 communiques, which was the basis of China-U.S. relations for these many years.
Right. And what does a third term for Xi Jinping mean for the West, especially the U.S.?
Well, it doesn't really mean any particular change. For inside China, it's about continuity. They feel that they're at a very, very difficult point in history with the economic situation, also the conflicts that are going on and the pressure that's being applied to China. So they don't want to change horses in the middle of this particular stream, but they are definitely looking at the future. And that means that they have to bring along the future leadership. They have big plans, 2049, when the country becomes 100 years old. They want to have many economic and political ideas that they want to accomplish, and that's going to require a new set of leadership. So it's both continuity and change.
Right, and Einar, take us through the challenge faced by China with regards to Taiwan, the self-governing island democracy that China wants to bring under its control.
Well, yeah, in the 3 communiques which I alluded to, which were signed over a period of years from the early 70s to the early 80s, it was, Taiwan was removed from the United Nations. They were declared basically a non-country. They have very few diplomatic relations left. It was acknowledged that there's only one China, and that in exchange for doing things peacefully, the United States, trying to reconcile with Taiwan peacefully, the United States would not supply arms. Obviously, that from the Chinese narrative has been broken. The U.S. has a different narrative. Seems to be in line with the kind of overall geopolitical rivalry that they see. So at this juncture, it is a red line. If the U.S. tries to provide nuclear arms or something like that, it would mean a war. It would mean the U.S. is fighting wars on many fronts, not only in the Middle East, but in Ukraine and also in the East. It's not clear what the long-term strategy is, either from the U.S. or apparent to China, what that would be.
Right, Einar, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your valued insights on this.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.